Hey everyone, what is going on? I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and today we're going to be discussing the Taurus full moon, the major themes, what to expect, how to understand where we came from over this past 6 months to move forward with confidence. Divine timing at its perfect personification. Right before this video, I was on TikTok and I always give myself a timeline. And I say for the next 5 minutes, what I'm meant to see, what I'm meant to hear. Then I turn it off, leave it be. But this quote came through during that 5 minute timeline. And I thought it's a perfect energy, a perfect quote, a perfect message that really embodies the major things that I had prepped for to help explain this Taurus full moon. So the quote is, the cost of not following your hearts is spending the rest of your life wishing you had. Author unknown. If you just like sit back with that and the fear or the stress or the limiting beliefs of what if, what if, what if, but not going for it, not trying, not feeling safe enough to really trust in what your soul is meant to do, and then spending the rest of your life wondering what if, wanting to have gone for it. I really feel not just with this Taurus full moon, but other transits that led up to it and that are coming through afterwards, most notably Pluto ingressing into Aquarius, really embody this. And if we're thinking of Taurus energy, even my little ensemble today. I really want to be cozy. I want to be comfortable. I wanted to feel connected to my body. And remember that the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. The moon has great domicile, great dignity in the sign of Cancer, which is a sign that it rules, but the moon does very, very well in the sign of Taurus. And if we think of the energy of Taurus in general, it feels very comforting. It feels very reliable. It feels like we know that we're going to get some love, maybe some food, some intimacy. I know a lot of Taurus individuals that are very big on touch, whether that's just giving really good hugs or really being good with physical touch being their love language. And if you're thinking of a nurturing energy, if you're thinking of a mother figure, if you're thinking of the moon and feeling these really beautiful feelings, feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling grounded, feeling love, feeling secure in your finances, feeling abundant, these are the energies that are coming through. And you can look back to about May 7th of this year, because that's when we had the Taurus new moon. And over the past 6 months, how have you allowed those lunar domains, those Taurus themes, even looking to Venus, given that Venus is a ruling planet of Taurus, to help understand those relationship needs, how you connect to yourself, how you connect to your body, how you connect to your home, how you connect to food, how you connect to others? Of course, it's all going to be dependent on which house Taurus rules in your natal chart. If you have any Taurus placements or any other fixed sign placements, of course, is all going to play a role. But let's take a look at the natal chart of the Taurus full moon as if it were its own bebe. And we can see here that this Taurus full moon is happening on Friday, November 15th at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's interesting. There's an ambulance on in the background as I speak. And this Moon Uranus conjunction is really catching my attention because given that it's so close, almost within the same degree, there's likely to be something that is either leading up to this full moon, you've already been feeling it, or on the actual full moon or the couple days afterwards, where you know that something has to change. Even let's just read this quote one more time. The cost of not following your hearts is spending the rest of your life wishing you had. What is it that you want to follow? What is your heart yearning for? What type of love, safety, security, abundance does your heart want? And are you brave enough? Do you trust? Do you have the faith? Will you allow for this reinvention, this revolution, this complete transformation of self, given that we're still in Scorpio season, of course, to allow yourself to go to a new space, to go to a new level, to feel far more grounded, far more aligned, far more authentic? And if we look at this Taurus full moon, we also see this very strong trine between the moon in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn. Why is this important? Because this is the last full moon in Taurus that is going to be making a trine to Pluto and Capricorn. Because once Pluto leaves Capricorn on November 19th, it'll be in Aquarius, and we're not going to see Pluto back in Capricorn for over 200 years. So I get really excited when we have certain transits that will never happen again in our lifetime because it makes it that much more impactful. We know that this isn't just a regular Taurus full moon, which, like I said at the beginning, the moon is exalted in Taurus. So even if she has to encounter, let's say, this conjunction to Uranus, which may not be the most comfortable at first, I've been speaking to many, many people, whether it be clients, whether it be the beautiful members at the Alchemy Point. Everyone wants a change. They want to feel better in their lives. They want to feel more intimacy in relationships. They want to find their partner, their husband, their wife, their spouse. They're wanting more money. They're wanting to feel more purpose in their careers. Everyone is wanting this across the board that I've been talking to. So if we're looking at a lunation, a full moon, such as this Taurus full moon, then the onus goes back to all of us. Are we following our hearts? Are we trusting in the work? Can we acknowledge all the work we've already done to see that we're ready, potentially already in a new timeline? I had a really beautiful call with a client earlier today who's been doing so much work for many years, not just like 2, 3 years, her entire life, but specifically the past 2, 3 years, and then even condensing it down to the past few months. And to see the growth and to even acknowledge it, saying, in this moment, you're already living your dream life. Everything that we've been working on, everything that you've been wanting over these past 2, 3 years, but especially over these past few months, you're already living it. I think that's where sometimes I see for individuals that they don't acknowledge that they're already in a new timeline. It's kind of like they're still putting the manifestation or they're putting the dream life in the future. So they're proverbially always chasing this golden carrot. It's like, no, no, like you're already in it. And James Clear talks about this in his book, Atomic Habits, which is a great book to read, even if you've read it before. But he talks about how, and I'm paraphrasing, there are paraphrasing while Mercury is currently in Sagittarius, but he talked about the notion of our brain receiving more joy when we're learning how to do something, when we're getting more confident in a skill, when essentially when you are on the process of on the process of manifesting something versus manifesting it. So let's say you want to make $10,000. You actually derive more pleasure with getting all of the sales, feeling more confident, doing one final push on social media or email marketing than actually getting the $10,000. Because once you get the $10,000, you're done. The manifestation is complete. But the entire time of you learning, of seeing the sales come in, getting the reviews, posting the reviews, getting more and more sales, getting super close to getting the final dollar amount, that's more exciting, more rewarding, more pleasurable for your brain than getting the $10,000 and the last sale to come in. You enjoyed it more in the entire process. So I think that is truly where humans get hung up on manifestation, is that they're so obsessed with the end goal that they have to manifest X, Y, and Z by a certain point or it's not working, that they're not good enough, they're not worthy enough, they're not smart enough, they're not this enough, when that doesn't really make sense. So long as you're committed to the journey, staying true to your heart's desires, being fixed in your resolve in how you wish to feel, then we're on the right path. And if we want to look at this full moon from the angle of Taurus being ruled by Venus and Venus being co-present Pluto, there might also be certain things that you are changing or that are coming to a close or coming to a climax that you've been dealing with since 2008, since Pluto first entered Capricorn. So there's a couple different places that we can examine for those of you who are a bit more intermediate or advanced and want to take your understanding of this full moon to the next level. So of course, one, we can understand the major significations of a full moon, right? the ending of a 6 month cycle, the ending of a Taurus 6 month cycle in that Taurus ruled part of your natal chart, right? The Taurus new moon was on May 7th. Now we have the full moon on November 15th. What is it that you're wanting more safety, security, intimacy, wealth, abundance? Number two, we can see that the moon is closely conjunct Uranus. It's making a sextile to Neptune. It's making a trine to Pluto. It's in trine-based aspect to Venus. So we know that the moon is being very stimulated. There's a wide square from Mars, but the moon is already on the third decan of Taurus, Leo. Mars is slowing down, about to station retrograde. So this is a very wide square that I personally wouldn't take that into consideration per se. But if we're going to, which we obviously can, this Mars is still kind of putting a little bit of embers under the Taurus booty to act. You know, in reality shows when the contestants on the chopping block are in the bottom two and they're like, oh, this really lit a fire under me. I'm now ready to go. I'm ready to perform. That might also be something too, whether the fire is causing pain or the fire is, I don't ever want to feel that again. I don't want to feel like I'm not prepared or that I didn't work hard enough. Like I'm really ready to go all in to make a more consistent, concerted effort in XYZ, whatever it is you're calling in. And then, of course, we can look to Venus, knowing that Venus not only rules Taurus, but Venus also rules Libra. What do we see here? The South Node finishing up its transit in Libra. So with this Moon, Uranus, Moon, Pluto energy, there might be something around relationships where you're letting something go. You're letting someone go. You're reshifting your relationships in general. Maybe you're not making as much time for someone or something. And that something could be time on your phone. Maybe you're like, no, I'm putting my phone down for the first hour and the last hour of my day, and I'm going to be reading this new book. I'm going to be working on my writing. I'm going to be working on my public speaking, whatever that is. So the relationship with your phone is what is changing. Your relationship with your body, your relationship with your boss, your relationship with your in-laws, whatever that is. If you feel called of just understanding the Venusian themes of how they're being rebirthed, how they are being changed, how they're being transformed, that is very likely to be connected with this Taurus energy. And the last bit of further excavation, we can say, or the further way that we can look at this full moon is that, of course, we know that the moon is a ruling planet of Cancer. So you can look at your Cancer ruled part of your natal chart and see how that part of your chart, the themes of that house are getting stimulated, reworked, and potentially allowing for new relationships to come in as well, given that the moon is in aspect. And the one thing I'm really curious about, and if you feel called to share, let me know in the comments, with the moon making that sextile to Neptune retrograde, Uranus retrograde, and Saturn just stationed direct earlier on the 15th of November. So for me, it just seems very obvious of pursuing your dreams and making that stable and consistent in a way that feels good for you. And I understand that's so much easier said than done. Let's say you need to work your corporate job so that you can pay for voice lessons, so that you can start your own EP, and the EP costs X amount of money just for the production or for the equipment to buy the mic. But what is it that you need then to feel like you're moving towards a more stable future as the singer, as the writer, as the entrepreneur? What actions need to take place? What needs to shift? What needs to change? What needs to be death and rebirth transformed to allow this new space in? And once you have that download, honoring that download, asking for that support so that it becomes a safe feeling for you in the body, that even when moments are hard, you're choosing your hard. You're choosing that difficulty because you know that it's the video game that you want to play. You know it's the movie that you want to feel moved by. You know it's the career, the relationship, the health habit, whatever it is that you're wanting to engage in. All right. So a lot of this for me feels that we're creating new structures to pursue our dreams, to have the right relationships while allowing for the revolution, the innovation, the transformation that comes along with it. So as we can expect during Scorpio season with a Taurus full moon that's being very stimulated, all in good time. And if you want a custom Taurus full moon meditation, you can hop on over and join the Alchemy Point, Stillwater Alchemy's new online community. in my opinion, the best online community in existence. All the members thus far that already joined right off the start are all incredible, loving, supportive. There's so many different spaces where I have different things that you can engage with, including Grace Victory of the Week, monthly challenges, timely transits, where I break down certain transits to give you even more details of how to understand that transit and how it can manifest, kind of like I did with this Taurus full moon, in addition to live meetups every month and the opportunity to ask me any question to receive priority responses at all times when you are in the alchemy point. So I'll leave the link for that as well in the description of this video, as well as some extra journal prompts and to clarify certain themes that we are working with this Taurus full moon. All right. I'm wishing you all a fabulous integration. Go out and try and see the moon so that you can feel the feelings of that safety, security, and support, love, intimacy, abundance, and connect. Like when there are certain full moons, I just go outside and look at the moon and almost just talk to her. Or a lot of times I'll just give gratitude for her. And sometimes for me, when I look at the full moon, it's almost like I can see a color around the moon. People always ask me if I see aura colors when I look at clients or humans. I more so see it with the moon. I've seen yellow before, blue before, purple before. It's almost like whatever that full moon is meant to stimulate in terms of a chakra. It's like I'm connecting with the moon. I think it's the most beautiful, natural thing. If you really are interested in learning astrology, just go look outside at the moon at any time, but especially a full moon to see what is being unlocked emotionally, subconsciously as major themes. And you don't necessarily even need to know your own natal chart. If something with your physical health is coming up, and then you later realize the ruler of your six is an aspect to this Taurus full moon, you're like, right, that was good for me to know from an astrological point, but it's me connecting with the moon. So I'm just going to connect with the moon and allow that connection to be real for me. It's kind of like, when people give their own opinions of certain colleagues or acquaintances or friends or people in the community, and they go on and on and on. And deep down, you're like, this intuitively doesn't feel right. I'm going to have my own relationship with that person and make my own judgments and discernments. And then when you meet this person, they're super lovely. And you're like, great, my intuition knew that I was just meant to connect with this person for however long. But for me to have that connection to this person, for me to have the connection with the moon so that I understand what's being asked of me from Mama Moon during this next part of my journey. And if anyone has had that beautiful sacred experience with the moon, I'd love to know your perspective or your ritual during a full moon so that other people can benefit as well. If you want to hop on over and speak more at the Alchemy Point, I'd love to have you. So, wishing you all the best Taurus full moon you've ever had in your entire life. And I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.